This is the Parkour Reborn Crystal Time Trial.
Oh my god. GG.
No! No! Oh my fucking god! I just did it.
Parkour Reborn is a game many others, including myself, have been waiting years to release. The game released this year and has already gained mass exposure. From Sketch enjoying the game's movement to thousands upon thousands treasuring the game's mastery over parkour mechanics. This game, without a shadow of a doubt, is objectively one of the best parkour games, not only on the Roblox platform, but in general. I initially found out about the game's pre-alpha release through a video from the Blank Post-it titled The Parkour Reborn Experience. I highly suggest you watch the video. An abundance of effort and good intention went behind the making of it. It's also just a good watch, and you can get there through the link in the description. Anyway, I was in disbelief at the fact that after years of the creator Hudzel and his team's hard work, the game was brought closer to a more finished and polished product than most Roblox games. So, I waited, and the game finally came out. I instantly found myself spending hours on the game, and around the 12th hour, got into time trials. Time trials are what the name suggests. Beat the trial as fast as you can and get ranked on a scale of the 4 medals given: bronze, silver, gold, and platinum, with platinum times being the hardest. The first time trial I got platinum on was called Vestibule, but I didn't really resonate with it much. I instead found a simple trial called Crystal. I fell in love with the trial, as did many others before me, which is why I'm making this video now. So, with the context out of the way, here is the brief history of Parkour Reborn's Crystal World Record. We first have to start off with the most influential run done by the Blank Post-it. He started running the trial in his first hours of gameplay, already quickly learning the mechanics of the game, and after many attempts, he got a reasonably fast gold run, just shy of a platinum time.
Oh no, don't do this to me! Stupid ass mouse. There we go.
It'd be funny if like the
wild.
modern day equivalent of 20XX is just when planned obsolescence. Oh, holy shit! No!
And with this, he kept running the time trial in hopes of reaching platinum, and finally...
There we go, platinum.
I heard that.
Wait, what do you call someone who?
Oh
what do you
shit!
call
Wait, I
someone
leveled up like crazy.
Yeah.
He did it. He got the platinum time for Crystal. The run was clean, but there's still vast room for improvement and optimization. So, he kept running the trial and got what I like to call the first ever world record.
I'm gonna actually do it.
I hear Hubson's stream in the background, so if I hear the new time sound, I'm gonna be sad.
The new time.
You're ready to be sad.
Oh my god! Oh my god, I hate you. No,
Did you get
9.9.
Oh
Oh my
shit.
god!
Holy shit.
Oh my god!
Alright, I'm sending a screenshot to Hudson.
Holy shit! Holy shit!
Hey, just ping him with the thing. Ping him. Wait, I'm gonna ping him with the thing.
This was influential in multiple ways. It shows that Crystal could be sub 10, and with the right improvements, the time could gradually go down even lower. And on November 3rd, this is exactly what would happen by a runner of the name Spugg, hitting at 9.602.
Oh! 9.6! Holy
No.
This run is impressive, implementing the best use of the tech/mechanic known as the Wumpy. In Parkour Reborn, the movement has a set of rules. Up top is the momentum bar, which tracks how fast your character is moving. With a mechanic known as After Boost, you can reach a higher momentum quicker And with the use of another mechanic called chaining, you can add on to and keep this momentum by precisely landing and jumping off ledges, essentially coyote timing your jumps. Other mechanics help as well, like wall climb boosting and wall kicking, which require more inputs to perform. You can see where the innate skill ceiling of the game comes into play within the time trials. In order to have the fastest run, you have to use the fastest route, while also implementing these mechanics to the best of your ability. A wumpy, however, requires you to combine multiple mechanics to pull off. Once you learn the technique, it becomes rather easy, and very useful in general. In order to perform a wumpy, you have to wall climb boost and during coyote time, precisely time a forward, backward, or sideways chain onto a ledge. This will send you into the air with slightly more speed than your initial momentum. Another known member of the parkour community, Spwb, decided to run the trial, completing a similar run. Although this wasn't enough to beat Spugg's time, Spwb was definitely close to taking the world record. Unbelievably though, Spwb kept running the trial, trying to come up with different routes. And he'd go on to make his and Spugg's run look slow in comparison on November 29th, 11 days after his 9.638.
What do you mean? 3. No, 4. But I was at the same school for like a big...
This new route saved over 300 milliseconds of time by hitting a wumpy on the left side, also allowing the run start path to be as linear as possible. As fast as this new route is, there's an unforeseen amount of time that can be saved with small improvements, like hitting the wumpy in less frames and minimizing the chain time at the start. This run would be held for 7 days until Spugg decided to take a shot at it. On December 6th, Spugg beat Spwb's world record by 16 milliseconds, with a more optimized start by taking the left side of the wall and doing a wumpy on the billboard edge. The placement of the wumpy would be a few studs in front of most other runs because of this. Because of this newfound route, the Crystal time trial was seemingly close to full optimization. Here's where things get a little interesting. I've decided not to say until now, but since getting into the Crystal time trial, I in fact actually grew to become obsessed with the trial, spending a total of 85 plus hours on run attempts for Crystal in hopes of getting the world record. I'd been doing runs over and over, and each time I got close to the world record, either Spwb or Spugg would lower it even more. Here's my first time getting platinum on Crystal. This time wouldn't be too bad for a casual player, however, that is obviously not the intent of my runs. There were big time bleeds in my run that needed to be addressed if I actually planned on someday getting a world record. First was my wumpy setup. I actually learned how to wumpy by doing it backwards, which does give you slightly more air, however, it's completely useless to do this, as forward wumpy speed is preferred for Crystal's linear path. My chaining setup afterwards also bleeds time by just being slower. Last but not least, the ending is extremely important. Instead of the regular wall climb I did, I should have done a wall climb boost, which doesn't give you more height than a fully extended wall climb, but is actually faster due to the ledge not being that high. So, with these glaring issues, I continued doing runs, and I got this. I got a 10.309, still above a sub 10 by a long shot. If I was really serious about getting a sub 10, I would have to crack down on my mechanic choices. So, I scrapped my usual runs instead, learning how to perform the mechanics even better. With this learning curve presented, I started doing runs again, and was presented with
my private.
Yeah, you wanna know what they did? So smart, but also so dumb. No fucking way. Oh my god. Oh my.
After weeks of continuous grinding and run attempts, I was in disbelief to get a 10 flat. This discouraged me a little, but I kept pushing. After some more attempts, It finally happened. I hit my first ever sub 10. This was the proof I needed that showed me I could actually go for the world record, but that's easier said than done. After this run, I continued and was able to lower my time. This run to me at the time was nearly perfect. It was when the record was 9.602, meaning I was only within 84 milliseconds of the world record, but then it got lowered to 9.315 as I stated before. I felt crushed. It seemed as though whenever I'd get close, it would always be something stopping me from getting the world record. Devastated, I decided to take a break from running the game for a few days. Coming back to the game, I was more optimistic and went straight back into runs. After several hours, I lowered my time even more. After weeks of trying to get a sub 9.5, I finally did it. This run only showed me not only how truly difficult it is to get a world record, but that it was possible for someone like me. I continued to run the trial, feeling as though I was getting closer to beating Spugg's infamous 9.315, but I didn't get any results. The truth is, both Spugg and Spwb have more experience in more high skill ceiling type games. The inputs they were doing were just too far out of reach for someone dipping their toes in like me. But something changed this mindset I had. I was talking to my friend Rin, his channel's in the description, and I was talking about gamer genes jokingly, but also in a semi-serious manner. I kept saying that the others were just too good, and that I couldn't beat the record because I'm not gifted like them, which may or may not have been true. He replied to me and said, "People always say things like that. It's a mentality. When you see people that actually do those things, they're the type to look in the mirror and repeat to themselves that they can do it over and over. They are the type of people who know things like that aren't real. It's all a mindset thing. You gotta lock in." This resonated with me personally, so I did lock in, and I got back to running, but something weird happened on one of my runs. I accidentally created what would become the most optimized route for Crystal ever made. I call it the fence route, FR for short. When I first did the fence route, I accidentally wall ran across the fence on the side of the ledge, hopped on top of it, cleared the gap faster than a regular Wumpy, and hit a double vault boost. I kept going with the run and ended up at the end so much faster than anyone else's run. In fact, this very attempt that I messed up to this day was the fastest attempt ever recorded. Here's where we come to a measurement I like to call the baseline. The baseline for crystal runs is at the end, on the very frame the wall run indicator is visible. You see at the end, the tech performed is actually a modified Wumpy. You essentially wall run close to a ledge, jump out of the wall run, and Wumpy off the ledge, gaining similar height to a Wumpy, combined with a wall climb boost. For example, the baseline for Spwb's run was at 8.013, and he finished with 9.331. The baseline for my 9.4 run was at 8.102. The baseline for the FR route was at 7.782, the fastest baseline ever recorded. If I compare the baseline from the FR route and Spwb's route, we get 8.013 minus 7.782, with a difference of 0.231. Assuming that I completed the rest of the run at the same speed with a final Wumpy, my time would have been a 9.1 flat, meaning sub 9.3 is definitely possible. Not only that, but if this run were to be perfected, a sub 9 might have been possible. I won't lie, I tried for hours and hours to recreate the exact route I made, but I couldn't get anywhere close. My biggest issue was skipping the extra chain we all do after the vault. Instead, I modified the route to wall run the fence, double vault, chain, and finally Wumpy. This was slightly slower, but would be vastly easier to be consistent with, and on December 8th, my dream came true. I finally got the world record. After a month of hard work and grinding, I finally got it. At the time, I didn't know it was a world record, but when I found out it was official, I was so hyped. I wasn't done with Crystal though, not for a long shot. I was capable of doing FR consistently, while everyone else had trouble even getting a run in. I knew the record wouldn't be mine forever, so I decided to keep running. On the same day, I lowered the world record even more. I hit the first ever sub 9.3, still with room to grow. I kept running. A 9.27, and I kept running. A 9.247. For comparison, the world record used to be 9.962. To this day, this is the fastest completed run and will be the fastest forever. Because on December 13th, the Crystal Time Trial would die. All good things must come to an end. The creator of the game, Hudzel, thought that Wumpy was too overpowered of a mechanic and decided to nerf Wumpy, and, in my opinion, vertical movement as well. The game will still be in alpha at the time this video is released, so changes to the game are expected, but this type of change I didn't expect, as well as many others. Lots of people have mixed opinions about the movement balancing, and in my opinion, people as well as myself have the right to an opinion, as well as frustration. When it comes to game-changing updates in finished games, these changes are extremely important to the ecosystem of a game. However, when you have an alpha game that is locked behind a paywall, you are essentially presenting the game in a more finished state than your closed testing stages. This is different if the alpha is free, but since Reborn's alpha isn't, it deserves to be treated as any paid game would, with criticism. In my personal case, I feel drastically slower. I find it harder to gain height, harder to even get speed lines while at max momentum. Not only that, but because of this, all the trials' times are significantly slower. While I personally don't agree with the change, it is Hudzel's game, and he can do whatever he pleases. I feel as though the floaty but fast-paced gameplay of Reborn is just completely lost. It feels more realistic rather than grounded, which is what the game was and should be. The game is nowhere near the speed of text used in the legacy version, and now is even slower because of this change. Here's my current best time post-movement balancing.
Bro, that was so slow. What the fuck?
This change also removes the measurement system of baselines I would typically use, because of the fact that Wumpy as a mechanic is rendered useless. At the end of the day, it is what it is. It's kind of sad now that we won't get to see if sub 9 was ever even possible in the first place. And if I'm being honest, running the game now is just not fun anymore, and that's perfectly fine for my case. The main reason I'm even making this video is to display one of the most fun but short periods of time in my life. I actually had a blast learning the game and finding new ways to beat times faster and faster, but I just don't enjoy the game anymore. I hope you all continue to have fun on Parkour Reborn. It really is a masterpiece of a game, but this is my goodbye. I won't be coming back to this community anytime soon, but I still hope you all continue to run and perfect this time trial I love so much. That's all.